How does a 2.5-ton SUV with the heart of a Corvette perform in the 0 to 100 test? Cadillac says it can do it under 5 seconds. Let's go and try it out. Cadillac has done the most absurd thing ever. They've taken a supercharged V8 engine from a track car, more specifically the previous gen Corvette, and put it in the ultimate family hauling SUV. The result? This 2.5-ton beast can do the 0 to 100 sprint in under 5 seconds. Has it worked, or has it made this unlivable? Well, that's what we're here to find out. One thing is for sure, it sounds incredible. The Escalade has always been about taking the back seat, which is why it was a top choice for A-list celebrities, heads of state, and of course, CEOs. But this, the Escalade-V, wants to be different. It doesn't want to be in that category. It wants you to take control of the wheel. Do you see a contradiction there? Let's leave aside the contradiction for a minute and let's talk price. This car, the Escalade-V, is priced from 664,000 dirhams here in the UAE. And chances are, if you're looking for a car at that price point, then you'd be the sort of person who would be shuttling between meetings and the airport on a regular basis. And you would want to do that journey in absolute luxury. So your natural or obvious choice would be from the Germans or the British. But if you're after something with pure presence and theater, and it's got to be the Americans, because that's what they do. Besides, the 4-liter engine that the others offer pales in comparison to the 6.2-liter beast that lives under this hood. But the engine and the performance is for the later part of the video. For now, let's talk about the presence. At first glance, everything looks normal. It's a large 5.5-meter long family hauler, but it's done so tastefully that it might even look better than some celebrities you would come across on the red carpet. Though it looks large and bulky from every other angle, the face, because of the vertical headlamp and DRL setup along with illumination around the grille, makes it look a lot leaner when you look at it head-on. Now, when compared to the standard version, the V variant swaps the chrome detailing around the grille and other parts of the car for blacked out elements. Oh, and by the way, the welcome animation on these DRLs are one of the best I've ever seen so far. When you glance over to the side, the size becomes more evident. It's tall, wide, and obviously long, even though this is not the extended wheelbase version. That adds another 400mm to the length. A couple of other features worth noting out are the automatic doors that are clever enough to stop midway if it detects an obstruction, and these 24-inch wheels, which are the largest to ever be fitted on an Escalade. And finally, at the rear, you can see the LED tail lamp setup that stretches from edge to edge. These have become a signature piece for the Escalade for years now. And finally, a boot that opens by pressing the logo. As the door opens, you're greeted to 722 liters or 2064 liters of cargo space with the seats folded. But if you think that's the best part, oh no. The inside is where the party really begins. The party starts as soon as you press the brake pedal and the automatic door closes, and you're greeted to a 36-speaker sound system powered by AKG, which sounds something like this. It's very immersive. So good, in fact, that it makes such a big cabin feel smaller. The centerpiece is a 55-inch curved display that runs edge to edge across the dashboard and has 3 screens in one. The driver's display, infotainment system, and a dedicated front passenger screen that polarizes so it doesn't distract the driver. Every major function in the car can be controlled either through the infotainment system using a rotary knob that's within arm's reach and from a smaller display that controls the air conditioning, the doors, and even the glove box. Underneath the front armrest, you'll also find a refrigerator. There's also wireless charging, storage that are large enough for wide 500ml bottles, and leather seats with heating, ventilation, and massaging. Here's a better look at all the major comfort and safety features offered with the Escalade. The second row seats are as comfortable as you would expect from an Escalade. The legroom and headroom are generous, even for a person standing above 6 feet in height. Here you'll also find dedicated rear displays with AKG tuned headphones and HDMI port behind the two front seats. You can connect your laptop or a gaming device and be lost in your own world. Now here's a part that the brochures don't tell you. It's not all sunshine and rainbows with this car. There are a couple of drawbacks. Firstly, the rotary knob clicks with a very stiff action and it doesn't fit the whole premium vibe the rest of the cabin gives you. Then there are the 360-degree cameras, which are a bit grainy, especially in the night, and you might misjudge your movements when you're parking the car. And then, of course, there is the auto parking feature, which doesn't work half the time. I am nitpicking here, I do agree, but when you're paying 700,000 dirhams for a car of this sort, there is a certain amount of attention to detail that you expect, which is sort of missing from this car. But the Escalade-V is not about the life in the rear seats. It's about what you experience when you're behind the wheel. And that's exactly what we're going to do next. But for a sensory overload, let's show you what driving the Escalade-V feels like in its natural habitat. Late night in Sheikh Zayed Road. When you're cruising on the highway, the cabin almost goes completely silent. There's pretty much no trace of wind or road noise. It's only when you occasionally put your foot down that you're reminded of the colossal amount of power the engine makes. The ride is where it surprises you the most. The magnetic suspension reads the road constantly, and over Dubai's speed bumps and patchy tarmac, it stays planted without ever feeling harsh. Even with those large 24-inch low-profile tires, the ride feels sublime. To summarize, if the regular Escalade is a car that you're driven in, then the V is a car that you escape in. Well, it may not be as refined as its German or British counterparts, but what it does have in its favor is its character and the presence, which none of those other competitors will be able to match. Now, when it comes to the V variant specifically, this is not a car that you want to hire. This is a car that you want to buy, especially if you always wanted to have a muscle car in your life. And of course, that ownership experience will come with a sense of peace of mind because of the 4 years or 100,000 kilometer warranty that the dealers offer. But of course, you can take it to another step by renting or leasing it from the self-drive app. That way, you can also take depreciation out of that list of worries. If I was to summarize my thoughts of the Escalade-V in a sentence, I would say that if you had this in your life, then no matter what appointment you would have, you'd definitely arrive earlier and in more style than any of your colleagues or your clients. The Escalade is the first full-size SUV that we've ever reviewed at AutoDrive. But of course, we've reviewed smaller SUVs like the Denza B5 or the Lincoln Co. 09. If you're interested, you can definitely check the videos out to know what we thought of those cars. What I can assure you is that we'll have a lot more exciting content coming up on our channel. So do subscribe to the AutoDrive channel if you haven't already. And do follow us on all our social medias so that you'll stay updated to all our latest content. Well, until we see you next time with a brand new video, this is Philip signing off. You've been watching AutoDrive, powered by Self-Drive.